We all know there are fantastic mountains right across Scotland, from the Isle of Skye, the likes of Sgurr-na-Gillian and Sgurr-Alistair and Blaven, to the Central Highlands where you've got the Ring of Steel, I don't know, to Glencoe with the Buchel and all the mountains of Ascent. And we're often reading or watching YouTube videos about top 5 mountains or top 10 mountains, and it kind of got me thinking when I was out with my son and he chose 5 mountains, that only some of them were those sort of stereotypical mountains that are found in these lists. And that got me thinking, what makes a mountain great, and why would a mountain be in your top 5? There's so many different things to look at. So in this video, I'm going to talk a wee bit about that, about what makes a mountain great and why it would be in these lists. And should we actually bother listening to those lists? Maybe we should just make up our own minds, which I know a lot of us do anyway. Anyway, here's me on a mountain that probably nobody's ever heard of, and certainly wouldn't be in anybody's top 5, but it's a fantastic mountain anyway. Hope you enjoy the video. On today's video, I'm hopefully going to discuss and talk about maybe 4 things that I can think of at the moment. One is I'm hoping to capture some shooting stars. Let's wait and see if that happens. 2, maybe try and get a nice sunset and possibly sunrise, depending on if I can get a good pitch. And 3, I suppose at the moment I'm in this beautiful, amazing glen with a loch below me, and one of my favourite places. But if you were to ask somebody, what their favourite mountain is or favourite area is in Scotland, I'm almost certain nobody would have that response what I've just given you for this area. So I'm maybe going to just chat a wee bit about what do you think makes a area beautiful, or a top 10 mountain. So I think it changes, and sometimes you can read too much into what other people or other books or magazines state are the top 5 mountains and all that sort of stuff in it. What got me thinking about this was the challenge that I did with my son recently. And if you just watch those videos, you'll be aware that he didn't choose the obvious candidate. So anyway, I'll bring you back in a wee while. Somebody come in, so I shall speak to you about the other one in just a minute. Oh, so yeah, just bumped into grandfather and his grandson, chatting away to them. I didn't see them coming, so I was caught on camera. Anyway, and the 4th thing I was going to speak about, after the thoughts on what are the best mountains and all that sort of stuff, a bit philosophical and just talk about life a wee bit, I think. And with my son heading off, I might discuss that. But for now, I'm out of breath. Need to get up there. I'm camping. Let me see if I can spot it. Up there. That's the summit. I might go on this side or that side, I'm not sure, but let's go. Oh dear. Right, I've made a bit of a mistake. I usually mark on the map the last water source, and I've inadvertently walked about 300 or 400 metres past it, and I don't know, 150 metres of ascent. And it's really quite warm and I really need water. I just stopped here and I could hear some trickling water, and there's just a wee trickle here, so it might take me a bit longer to fill my water up, but I'd be as well taking this opportunity because it's flowing water here. I think anything higher up it might be onto too steep ground and a bit dodgy to get, so I'll cut my losses and fill up my water here, hopefully. I've also got a new water filter, and I'll give you my verdict on this versus my old one. Maybe later on if I remember. If I don't, I'll do a voiceover. But let's collect some water. That's the water collected. Time to get on our way. We're about 600 and just over 600 metres, and the top of this mountain is around about 800, just under 800 I think. So still a fair whack to go. Oh, how spectacular is this? Sun's shining right in my eyes, but hopefully you can get the view down over Loch Turret down here. As I said, a lot of people call this area of Scotland pretty dull when it comes to hills, but these, if you know where to go and you explore the hills enough, you find little gems like this. A wee path, you can see it there, just skirting along the edge of the cliff. It just feels like I'm on the edge of a precipice, and I suppose I am. About 400 or 500 metre drop down there. It's just absolutely wonderful. So another wee tip is I often start to look for spots a good half an hour before getting to the spot that I'm thinking of, just in case there is nowhere to camp, and I'm kind of surveying the ground here. I have been up here before and it's a bit devoid of pitches, but what a place it is. I mean, look at this. Look at this, isn't that wonderful? Wow, right down yonder. What a place. Right, not far from the summit, so I'll see if there's any pictures around here and then head up to the summit and we'll make a decision on where we're going to stop. What a place though, what a place. And it certainly is a special place and deserves to be in somebody's top 5. But anyway, the hard work was done now and I made my way towards the summit along flattening ground on the plateau, and it didn't take me long before I saw the summit cairn. Oh right, that's me reached the summit of Carnhoy, or Carnchoy, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. It's 786 metres, so just underneath 800 metres. And now I need to find a pitch. There's no flat grass area, so it might be a bit of searching around to find a wee bit of heather, which is short and flat. And the wind's veering round to more of a southerly tonight, so you want to get the balance between no breeze in midges and not too much breeze to get the tent blown away. So I want a wee bit of breeze but not too much, so I'm going to mooch around and I'll bring you back once I've got the old scarp up and I'm settled into my tent. What a spot though, it's lovely, I just love it here. I'll do some info on where I am and what I can see once I get settled. I'll bring you back. Now let's get the tent up. Right, I've just about got the tent up, just fitted it in here. I'm behind the camera, you'll see I'll spin you around in a minute, but I'm going to get a bit of shelter if the wind does move to the south like it's forecast. But yeah, I've got the tent up. I always like to, a wee tip as well, from my experience, tell me if you've got a scarp and you don't find it, but I always think that the most important guy lines are these side ones for stability. Pegging them out gives it a good bit of rigidity, the side ones. And I tend to use I'll put the poles up and tie these ones up. That's not for rigidity, it just helps separate the inner from the outer, especially if there's a stronger wind. I find that sometimes pushes in, and if it gets wet it can it can cause a wee bit more condensation inside, so it just helps separate them. But those side ones are definitely the most important. But yeah, I was going to talk a wee bit about just I was going to talk a bit about the mountains and what makes some special to some people, but I'll maybe do that later on. And that was what got that in my head was just the 5 mountain challenges I called it, just for a bit of fun with my son Lewis. And I don't know, I always think back to the song The Cat's in the Cradle about how a father and a son's relationship goes, and obviously with me losing my father just at the turn of the year there, and with Lewis, my son, at that stage of life now where he's leaving to go away for the first time up to university and college and what have you. You know, it's like segments of your life, and I feel really glad that I've managed to spend quite a bit of time with Lewis, not only in the hills. I mean, we went to the football and we did lots of other stuff, but doing something which is close to me and stuff that I did it with my dad, not to the same extent that I do it with Lewis. But I don't know what I'm trying to say is, yes, I know I did a video about seizing the moment, but you just have to do these things and spend time with the ones you love and cherish the moments. And again, I know I've said about that before, but just on the back of the last 5 videos, I thought I'd just talk a bit about that. And it might not happen again. You know, as I said, go and look at the lyrics to The Cat's in the Cradle, and life gets in the way. You know, people get married, get jobs, have careers. I hope not. Hopefully there's plenty more mountain days out with my son and my daughter for that matter. But yeah, it's good to enjoy them while they last. But anyway, right, enough of that soapy stuff. Going to finish getting the tent up, and I'll maybe talk about what's a special mountain for me, and maybe go into a bit more depth of why Lewis chose the mountains he did, which was quite interesting. And then we might get a nice sunset, maybe see some shooting stars, who knows. Yeah, lovely, what a spot. Right, let's get this sorted. Oh. Alright, the sun is starting to lower a little bit out to the west, you can see that. So yeah, I think we'll get some nice colours, nothing spectacular, but that could be the first thing. The sunset that I was hoping to see. And it is the Perseids meteors tonight, I think. So yeah, it'd be nice if we caught some meteors. I've done it before. I remember going out and doing it for the same meteor shower in up Ben Lawers and camping out, and got quite a few meteors on camera. So if I don't catch any tonight, I'll put a link to that video down below. Anyway, let's talk about mountains. And as you know, if you've watched the channel, I had some fantastic times with my son on mountains that he chose, and he's not a mountain fanatic like I am, and probably you are. And it was really interesting, the mountains that he decided that he wanted to do and the ones that he thought were best. Yeah, so maybe usually you think immediately to mountains like, I don't know, the Buchel, which is an amazing mountain and probably in my top 5 and my top 10, or Ancellach, or I don't know, Stack Polly, Ben Nevis, the Cuillin, and he did choose some. I mean, Sullivan was special. I had no influence on what he chose. The only one that we did kind of liaise over was Arran, because we had to go to Arran, and he was keen to do one there. So I just pointed him in the direction of the websites, things like Walk Highlands, and that's how he chose them. He just went on and chose the mountains, and they were all great. And, you know, Sullivan, Kirvor, Loch Nagar. It's just interesting that he chose those ones, and that got me thinking. And what is it that makes a mountain good to you? Some people automatically think it's the big jaggy ones, and you're maybe influenced by watching YouTube. I mean, I've been guilty of it. Oh, you know, Scoornagullian's my favourite mountain, and it was a few weeks ago. But you see these things, and I mean, I used to subscribe to Trail magazine and TGO magazine, and they were full of top 5 mountains and most remote mountains and best mountains, and I used to always sort of go, yeah, things like Ancellach and Legach, and these hills are amazing. But you know, there's other ones. I mean, Ben Hone's is often, like behind the camera is Benny Hone, as it's known locally. A lot of people think it's really dull, but I think it's this area is just amazing. Big deep clefts, and you know, sometimes a bit quieter. I mean, I'm up this hill today, beautiful views out west. I can see most of the Central Highlands, Ben Vorlich, Ben Morse, the Binion, around to Ben Louis and all these sorts of ones. It's just amazing. So different things float different people's boats. Some people like the Cairngorms, big rolling plateaus. Drop a comment in the section below and let me know what your favourite mountains are. Is it the big jaggy ones, the ones we have to climb to get to the top of? I mean, I love those ones as well. I mean, it's hard to beat the Cuillin, isn't it? But sometimes these rolling hills hold more wildlife and just more of a sense of solitude and wilderness. I don't know. As I said, different strokes for different folks. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Right. Yeah, let's watch the sun go down. It's just about touching the horizon now, so I'll bring you back later on when it's darker and see if we can see anything in the sky. So I sat and watched the sun go down, and at this time of the year it takes quite a while before it gets dark, and tonight there was a blood red moon rising to the east, and that was great to watch, but it was really quite bright once it rose, and that actually was detrimental to seeing the meteors because the bright moon made it harder to see smaller meteors. And this summit here is close to the edge of the Highlands, and over to the left there's Perth, and you've got Crieff down there, which two towns and cities close to my heart. You can see Auchterarder further over, and that's Comrie there, and I think the lights in the background are probably Stirling, so it's a lovely spot to look down as well. Anyway, I set up a couple of time lapses, and I think I maybe caught some showers, some meteors. If you look closely, you'll see a few flashing by. Some are actually just satellites, but I think there were a few. But yeah, it was lovely. But anyway, what are the Perseid meteor showers? Well, I'm reading this from the interweb. It's one of the most dramatic things to be seen in the night sky between July and August, and it's caused by debris from a comet that passed by the sun and left debris in the Earth's path. Obviously the Earth circumnavigates and goes round the sun, and at this time of year it goes through this debris, and this debris slams into our atmosphere at speeds of between 7 and 45 miles per hour. Per second, sorry, not per hour. The actual speed at which the meteor enters our atmosphere depends on the combined speed of the Earth and the debris itself. The average speed for this Perseid meteor is 36 miles per second, and the air in front of the meteor is squashed and heated through thousands of degrees Celsius. The smaller meteors vaporise and leave behind bright trails of light. Larger meteors can explode as fireballs. Anyway, I think I saw one or two before dawn appeared, and yeah, it seemed to be quite a short night before I was waking up for sunrise again. Oh, coffee time. It's a lovely morning. I've come out of the tent to make my coffee. One, because it's safer, you know. I always try not to have the naked flame of the burner anywhere near the tent. Don't want to burn it down. And two, there's a wee breeze out here, so the midges aren't getting me. They don't like a breeze above 4 miles an hour, so that's what I was mentioning last night, getting the nice balance between a breeze and keeping the midges at bay. Anyway, more importantly, let's get the coffee on. Alright, got my coffee. I've been taking the tent down whilst waiting for my coffee to cool. Something about a camp coffee, although it's just the sachets that I use to make it, and if I was to use them at home it would taste terrible. But on a camp it tastes great. So anyway, there wasn't much happening at sunrise, but I think following on from last night, the moon was so bright, I didn't see that many shooting stars. I did see 3 or 4 and I made my wish, but I don't think I caught any on camera. So I'll put the link in the description below to the last time I was out, where I definitely caught some on camera. So you can watch that if you really want to see the shooting stars, as they say. But yeah, it's been a great camp. There is a wee breeze. I've got a wee bit of shelter here, so the midges are coming and going, but when I stand up, the breeze is enough for them to buzz off, which is nice. Yeah, just a short. This is quite close to home for me. I suppose this is a local hill for me with my links to Crieff. Benihone is over there. Loch Turret's down there, and it's a fabulous area. Like I said, you know, you don't need to listen to the likes of me telling you which are the best mountains. You make your own decisions, and that goes for gear and stuff like that as well, actually. And talking of that, I did say I was going to talk about this new water filter I've got, which is a LifeStraw one. And the reason I bought it, it was a bit cheaper. I replaced the one that I had before was a Katadyn B3 filter, and this works in a very similar way, so I thought I'd try it. It's got a slightly bigger container for catching the water. It's maybe a bit heavier than the Katadyn one, and the filter works in a pretty similar way. However, the main drawback is the filter's in this part here, and water can only get in from the bottom of it, whereas with the Katadyn B3 one, the water can go in right up the filter. So what that means is when you've got it upside down and you're filtering the water, once you get to this point here, the water can't go into the filter, so you can't filter that. Whereas with the old one, you could get it all the way down, which I thought is much more useful, to be honest with you. So I think I'll go back to the B3 filter next time, once this one clogs up. But apart from that, it's all right. It's not bad. But anyway, enough about gear. I think I'll maybe end the video here. It's to be about 27 or 28 degrees, and it was 27 when I left the car yesterday. So yeah, I'm keen to get going first thing in the morning. It's only 7 o'clock now, so I'll get going before the heat of the day hits, and I get dehydrated after drinking my whiskey last night and my coffee this morning. So yeah, thanks for watching. As always, please stay safe out there, and I'll see you next week for another adventure. Right, finish my coffee and down the road. So it was a fantastic trip, and I left this lesser known summit, but let me know in the comments below what defines what a great mountain is, and is it its shape, its topography, or maybe how wild it is, how far away it is from somewhere, or its remoteness, wilderness? Is it because it's quiet and there's not many people there? Does it have climbs in it? Does it provide a long day? I suppose different people have different ideas of what make mountains great, but let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.